Welcome to the online video series presented by Structure Studios. This video will explain advanced techniques for the walls, fences, and railings stage. It's important to first watch the basic training video for the walls, fences, and railings stage to understand all of the techniques we'll be using in this video. You can jump ahead in the video to the times listed here to see specific features we'll be covering. First, we'll add custom railing around our balcony that we see here in 3D. We'll use some advanced techniques to do so. In Walls, Fences, and Railing in 2D, we'll turn on Select Objects from any stage and grab our balcony. Now, we can click Generate Railing on Shape. We can see it automatically adds railing around the edges up to the house. In 3D, we see our default fence style. In the library, we can apply a different style to help us meet our needs. We'd like to create railing that has large stone pillars in the corner. We'll choose what closely matches what we eventually want to create. Now that we've applied it, we can start adjusting settings. We'll lower our posts to make them shorter. However, we notice that these posts are hanging off the edge. That's no problem. Back in 2D, we can adjust this. We'll be working in smaller segments, so we'll adjust our grid spacing down to 3 inches. We'll also make sure that we have the grid and perpendicular snaps on. Now, we'll select our drawn shape. We'll drag the midpoint until we see the posts in the corners are fully on top of our balcony. They fit, so let's check it out in 3D. In 3D, next we'll adjust our boards. These will act as the vertical portion of our railing. We can adjust their height and width, elevation, spacing, and even make the flat top. Next, we'll work with our rails. We actually have 5 rails attached to this style. We'll delete the one and move the other. Note that the rest of this wall is actually made using railing. You can add any rails that you need and adjust the thickness and the width and their elevation. By doing so, you can create a wall fence combo like we see here. We'll delete these extra rails and move our final rail to the bottom. We'd like to add one more pillar. Back in 2D, we'll select our existing line and use the Divide tool. Any place we add a divide point in 2D on our walls and fences, we'll add an additional post. We see our final post added in 3D. Next, we need to add some support columns. We'd like them to match our corner posts. We'll use the custom shape stage to create these. In 2D, we'll delete the existing columns. We can see the exact dimensions of our posts that were created in the walls, fences, and railings stage. With the line tool, we'll simply draw on top of these. We'll make sure their height is set to 10 feet, which is how tall our balcony is. We're nearly complete. One more step, let's delete the end post by the house. Back in Walls, Fences, and Railing, we can click directly on our post, and then press Delete. Now our railing goes all the way up to our house. Our final step is picking our materials. When we select our posts, all are selected at once. We'll use Control-Click to grab our columns. Finally, we want the trim of our balcony to match as well. Once our balcony is selected, because it's a custom shape, we can double-click on each individual side and apply a custom material to each. Before you know it, our structure is complete. Next, we'll work with a wood deck. We want to create railing that goes down this staircase. Once again, we can do this quickly and easily. We'll once again use the Generate Railing button, but this time we'll use it on the wood decks feature. In 3D, we see our railing. However, it doesn't go all the way down our stairs. We can draw additional lines in Walls, Fences, and Railing to complete this. We'll return to the Walls, Fences, and Railings stage and select our existing lines. We'll set a very small grid size as we'll be working in small increments. With the Line tool, we simply need to click on any existing endpoint on the shapes that are already created. We'll press Escape to stop drawing and draw another line down on the other side of our staircase. In 3D, we now see our railing goes all the way down our stairs. However, it doesn't quite match our landing and the staircase itself. By adding a few divide points, we can quickly resolve this. In 2D, we'll select our existing lines and add divide points. We want to add points anywhere there's an elevation change, such as the top and the bottom of our staircases. Any place we manually add a post, in 3D, the railing will know this is where a change takes place. We can even move the points once we've added them. Back in 3D, we now see our railing going down the stairs according to where we set our posts. However, we see that the railing goes through our steps. We can select the railing by double-clicking on it, and then adjusting the elevation. By doing so, we now see that our boards stick through the bottom. We'll select the boards in the panel menu and adjust their elevation as well. This makes them stick through the top of the railing. We'll lower their height so they no longer do this. Before you know it, we now have our railing going down our staircase and around our wood deck. Next, we'll create some more custom railing and add some running trim under the roof as well. In 2D, we'll have our grid set to 3 inches and draw our line between our wall and our post. In 3D, we see our railing goes on top of our structures. We can fix this by turning off auto elevation and setting it to a specific value, or in 2D, we can always use the Link To feature and link it to our hardscape. Next, we'll choose a new style from the library that we can work with. The vinyl semi-privacy looks pretty close to what we want to create. We'll adjust some settings. We'll adjust our posts, including their size, height, and spacing. Next, we'll adjust our boards. We'll set them very small to a 1-inch width and lower the height. We'll also set the thickness down to 0 to make them as small as possible. Next, we'll adjust our rails. With all of them selected, we can adjust all of their values at once, including changing what style they are. We can now double-click directly on individual rails to adjust them. We'll adjust the elevation of the first and the second as well. We can adjust our rail elevation by either using the Move tool or the rail elevation setting in the panel menu. Next, we want to add running trim under our roof line. We want our running trim style to match what we've just created for our railing, so we'll copy and paste and put them right on top of each other. In 3D, we have our second pasted rail selected. We can adjust the elevation or move it with the Move tool. We'll turn off our posts. We'll set our boards to be much shorter than they were for our lower railing. Next, we'll adjust our rails. Remember, we can individually select them in 3D and adjust their elevation with the Move tool in 3D or adjusting the elevation. We'll delete the one we no longer need, and the final step is adjusting the elevation for the entire structure. Next, we want to create a screen enclosure. Can we use the walls, fences, and railing system to do so? Absolutely. To create this, we'll start by drawing a simple square using the walls, fences, and railings stage. We'll set it to the wall style and head to 3D. In 3D, we'll go to the materials stage. We'll apply a screen material directly to our wall. We'll also decrease the size to make it a smaller screen. We'll also apply a solid material to our other shapes. We'll use a white vinyl in this example. Next, we'll adjust the settings for our shape. A screen room is going to be pretty tall, so we'll adjust the height for the wall itself and make it very thin, only 1 inch thick. We'll also lower the cap size and increase our pillars and make them smaller as well. We'll also adjust our pillar spacing so we have more posts along the edges. So far, we've created a wall, made it 10 feet tall, and applied our screen material. Let's add a few more details. We'd like to add a wall along the bottom of this, so we'll copy and paste our existing shape. We'll apply the brick wall preset from the library. In 3D, we'll turn off the pillars and adjust several settings. We want the lower portion of this structure to simply be a brick wall. We'll adjust our height and our thickness. We're nearly complete, but we need to add one final detail, a roof. We'll go to the house stage to complete this. In the house stage in 2D, we'll outline our existing shapes. We'll set our shape to the roof-only setting and raise it up 10 feet to place it on top of our structure. In 3D, we see our completed structure. We can save any of the styles we've created today back to the library to use in future projects. Thanks for watching. Please let us know if you have any questions by calling 800-778-8996 or emailing support@structurestudios.com.